What's a sign that someone is failing as a parent? They find ways to blame the kid a lot more than themselves. When their kids walk on eggshells around them. This includes parents who think their child is perfect and never wrong, making their child fear admitting to them that they need help or made a mistake. When children are too scared to talk to their parents. When the kids have to be the parent. Mom, did you pay this month's rent? Or Mom, you have to get up. It's 6:30. You have to go to work. That's too much for a child to handle. They skip the fun years, because the parent simply isn't equipped to deal with responsibility. As someone who works in education, when I tell you your kid did something at school and you won't stop yelling at me and telling me there's no way, I'm making a mistake, etc., I consider you not a good parent. Your kid can sometimes have a bad day and it's okay. Just talk with your child about it. Discipline is necessary too. It's not because you discipline your kid that they won't love you anymore. It is key in their education/development. No self-accountability and projecting internal problems and insecurities upon their kids. I've seen kids hurt themselves, or pretend to, for attention from their parents who are just on their phone the whole time. It's heartbreaking. When they post every single thing about their child, medical, behavioral, dietary, etc., onto social media for their own benefit, and with no consideration of their child's privacy or how it may impact them in the future. When parents are always telling their kids they aren't at fault/someone else is at fault. As an educator, I've seen few kids truly fail at life. Those that do more often than not had parents who always told them that someone else is at fault. Beat up another kid. They provoked my precious angel, what was he supposed to do? Bad grades. The teacher didn't do a good enough job teaching him. Etc. When their kids hide every single thing from their parents, I remember hiding so much from my parents and I still do. Monetizing your child on social media. Never following through with threats of punishment/consequences. When everything is always about them and they don't give a shit about their children's mental health. Not acknowledging their child's emotions. Dismissing anybody with "you're overreacting" or "no you're not" is shitty behavior in general. It starts to get damaging if it's coming from a parent to their child. When their kids completely distance themselves when they leave the home and want no contact is a telltale sign. When the respect you see their kids show them is based on fear rather than love. Not being able to open up to them and tell them what's making you unhappy. That they aren't looking for ways to improve and learn and get better, as their own people or as parents. They stagnate, do whatever is easiest no matter how bad it is for themselves or their family unit, and completely disengage from responsibility. And please note, that's just a sign that they're currently failing, as a parent. Not that they're bad, or failing as people. When the kids are consistently filthy and smell bad. 4-5-year-olds still wearing diapers. Had a parent complain that their kid had to take breathing treatments at home, but they smoked inside, had dog and cat pee and feces everywhere, and trash overfilling the can. You set your kids up for a rough time in school when you can smell the family from a mile away. There's a difference in a messy home vs a dirty home. Playing favorites. Treating their kid as a personal therapist. My adult children have broken off contact with me. Their child became bullies. I will say the most obvious, yet extremely important thing, when parents violently hit their children. They refuse to admit that their child can make poor choices. Blame everyone else but their kid. Emotional negligence is a big one. A lot of people think they're a great parent if they don't physically abuse their kid, but emotional abuse or negligence is equally harmful. When their kid is failing all their classes and instead of helping them with their studies, getting them a tutor or punishing them for not doing any work. They threaten to sue the school. When kids run wild. In my job, I see everything from polite kids to the awful, thieving, abusive, antisocial little chavs. If your kid is stealing from stores, abusing workers, smashing things up, vaping/smoking and underage drinking, throwing things around in the street and leaving trash in the street, you've absolutely failed as a parent and are like also a shitty human being. The parents are cunts and so are the kids. If their concern about their child's misbehavior is, everyone's going to see that and think I'm a bad parent, they have the wrong mindset, at the very least. I never even wanted kids, followed by putting their boyfriend or partner long before the needs of the children. Not bothering to actually correct misbehaving, following the mantra of not telling their child no. When a parent blames the child, calls them names etc., can't talk to a parent/has to walk on eggshells around them and has trouble having healthy relationships with friends or making friends. The parent sees their primary job as making their kid happy. If you are properly parenting, sometimes they will be disappointed or upset. You say no to something, they don't get the latest toy, you don't do things for them that they can do themselves, they don't get everything they want the moment they want it. To parent well means you're a leader, you guide and teach values, and you try to help them become successful and independent. In the process of getting to those goals, there will be plenty of opportunities for happiness along the way. Kid who isn't developmentally disabled not being able to read past a certain age. If the child is apologetic of almost everything. Edit, I mean being apologetic to elders, especially parents and teachers. When parents are involved in substances or violence. When you would confide in literally anyone else before confiding in your parent. When you prefer one child above the other. Treat him better, give him all he needs and totally neglect the other. They parentify their kids, they use them as a surrogate partner either emotionally and/or practically having them raise younger siblings. Saw a kid in work today who was huge. Not body shaming, but if your 10-year-old child clearly weighs more than me, a fully grown man in his mid-20s, you failed your child. That you are already a grandmother at age 37. And you may or may not be in Congress.